Awesome. Right. Hello to everybody watching on the replay. We have got our squats, deadlift variations and push-up variations again this week. Just a little note on the sort of deadlift bits that we're going to do. So they're going to excite the hamstrings a lot. A lot of people like hamstring stretchiness. But we've also got the option to add in some rotations towards the end, which is very lower back focused. So if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy that kind of sensation or isn't sure, you can just stick with the reaches. So never a better time to reiterate the 3 R's that I basically live my classes by. You rest when you need to, not when I say. Adapt the range of motion so it's suitable for you. So don't compare yourself to what I'm doing or what someone else is doing. Do what's best for your body, because only you know what you can feel. And then what is the other one? Rest, range. I've got them written down. Good job. Oh yeah, reps, of course. Reps. So if we're a guide rep range might be 4 to 6 reps. So you decide where you are within that. Make sure you've got some water and plenty of space around you, because it is, if you're in the UK, it's going to get really hot today, so it might already be hot in your house. I'm going to stick some tunes on, and then we'll start getting eased in. And also for push-ups, there is options to do them on a chair or sofa or on the wall, but I will demonstrate that as we go along. Okay, let's get going. Awesome. Into a nice space. We're going to start off with just some normal squats. So feet under the hips and just squatting down. Just taking it at your own pace. First thing we're doing. Just squatting down how it feels good for you. Okay, on this next one, I'm just going to take those toes out. So just point those out and keep squatting. So just hitting that joint a little bit differently. Let me know if the music is an appropriate volume and you can hear me okay. Lovely. On this next one, just pop those toes in now. Might feel a little bit weird. It reduces that range, but just hits the quad a little bit differently. Yeah, moving as fast or as slow as feels good for you. Last one. Just take a break, straighten those feet up. We're going to go squelbo. So opposite elbow to opposite knee as we squat down. Just like that. Join in when you're ready. Little squelbo. That's it. Get that nice little twist in the torso. Lovely. A couple more. Awesome. Last one. Grab a drink if you need one. So we're going to go for our first set of reaches. Again, just part of our warming up. And we're going to do a roll down. So knees can be straight or soft, whatever you prefer. Just letting the arms hang and going down as far as feels good. So as soon as you feel that stretch, that's going to look different on everybody. Just hang it down, all relaxed and loose. And then really slowly bring it up. And then repeat nice and slow. Don't want any head rushes this morning. Let it all hang. And then roll it up. One more. on top of each other. On this next one, we're going to roll down the same. And then you're just going to take those hands over the right foot. So just twisting, bring it back to the start, and then roll it back up. And then we're going other side, rolling down, over the left foot, bring it back. Awesome, one more of each. Nice and slow. Standing all the way up, nice and tall. And again. Awesome, okay. We're going for a little bit more direction now. We're going to reach down with purpose, so not all loose. Hips are going to go back the other way, so reaching out straight in front of you, sweep the arms forward, and then bring it back. Straight in front, that's it. Keep going. Again, just reaching down, this feels good. Taking the arms forward, like I say, with some purpose, like you were trying to reach for something. It's almost a bit robotic with your hands like that, isn't it? A bit roboty. Okay, one more here. And then we're taking that reach over the right foot. So I'm twisting and I'm reaching down to take those hands right round over the right foot. So two more here. And all the way round to the left, let the hips go in the opposite direction. Lovely, two more. Okay, rest it there. To conclude our little warm-up, easing in, we're going to do some walkouts. Now, walkouts are not for everybody. So I'll demonstrate a walkout and then I'll give you the option. So a walkout is hands meet the floor, however you want. So either bending the legs or keeping them straight. And then you walk out onto the hands into that full plank position, and then you push it back. But if that's not a bit of you today, you can bring yourself to your chair or your sofa. You can squat down, hands to the chair or sofa, and then you can step your legs back into that plank, bring the feet back, and then stand up nice and tall, ready to repeat. So pick your option. We're going to go between 4 and 6. So again, pick that number that suits you, and off we go. Between 4 and 6, move in a way that feels good, fast or slow. Standing nice and tall in between. You can even pause here before you go to your next rep. Whatever variation you're doing, nice wide hands, no hoops. Lovely, I'm going for one more. Stop whenever you're ready. Awesome, grab yourself a drink. We're going for our first squat. We're going to step back into like a single leg dominated squat with the other heel on the ground. So when people stretch their hamstrings, say after they go running, they step one foot forward, don't they? And they bend the other knee and then they stretch. That's going to be our end position. So this leg's bent and it's going to be taking most of my weight. But what we're going to do is we're going to step back into it. which is very like the mind is going, what's going on? So we're going to step back. That leg's going to bend and bring that other leg straight. And I'm just going to spend a second here and then bring it back to the start. So this is our first squat that we're going to build on all the way through. We're going to go between 6 and 8 on the right leg and then swap over and do the left. So it's the right leg stepping back. And the aim is to spend a couple of seconds in that backwards position with the weight on the right leg. So starting whenever you're ready. Step it back, let the toes find the floor, bend that. Toes can be up or down, whatever feels better. And then I'm going to just bring it forward and then repeat. And I'm just sitting back into that right glute, just to get it working a little bit harder. If this feels wobbly, you can set up next to a wall or a chair. Just place one hand on it as you lean back. As you get used to them, you might find yourself just stepping that back a little bit further as that confidence grows. My hands are all over the place. I'm like a T-Rex. Maybe this is the T-Rex squat. One more on that right leg. And then swapping over onto the left. The T-Rex squat. That's official now. That's its official name. Leaning now into that left butt cheek. Again, going for between 6 and 8, stopping when you find that magic number. Awesome, relax it there. Okay, grab a drink while I explain the next movement. So this is where we've got the option to rotate, but take the rotation out if it does not feel good. If you've got a towel, roll it up. If you've got a resistance band, you're just going to hold it. Holding it in a relatively shortened position, so my hands are shoulder width. That's where I want it. I'm going to bring myself into a staggered stance. So that is 1 foot back and on the toe. A bit like I would say, if you were about to moonwalk away, it's that first, it's that first slide back. So it's just 1 foot, it's slightly back and on the toe. And then I'm going to feel it most in my front leg. So I'm going to reach down, just watching to begin with. Towel's going to reach down to my front leg toe. And then here, I'm going to open it up to the side. So away from that front leg. Now that's the bit that's going to get the lower back involved. You can try it with a little bit of range to begin with. So you might just go here, see how it feels. But if it doesn't feel good, ditch it and just go with the reach. So 6 to 8 here, and then we're swapping legs. So it's very single leg deadlifting. We're sliding that towel down the leg and then reaching it round and out. Okay, hopefully that all made sense. Get that towel or that band ready. Take it down to the toe and then rotate it round. Standing nice and tall and then repeat 6 to 8. So I'm taking it away from that front leg. And it just means that hamstring has got to work a little bit harder to keep me in that position while I then rotate through the rest of the body. If you pull apart on your band or towel, you'll also get your shoulders involved. So we're just hitting the full body in that way. Lovely. One more for me. Stop when you're ready. Little pause if you need it, and then we're swapping sides. So sliding that other foot back. And now we're rotating away from that front leg. 6 to 8, start whenever you're ready. Standing nice and tall in between. Breathing, don't hold it in. Nice continuous breath. Okay, last one. Awesome. Drop that towel, grab a drink. So into our push-ups now. We're going for a wide push-up. So hands normally under the shoulders. We're going to step them wide. You can do this on the furniture, either on the knees or full. So there's 2 options for your furniture. You can take it to the wall. So hands, you have to be a zombie first. So hands are straight out in front. Take it to the wall. And then however far your feet are back is how much you'll load your upper body. So that's another option. Or we can go down to the floor in either a box position, where knees are under the hips. We can go knees behind us, or we can go full. So they're all the options. I won't demonstrate them all again, because it'll take too long. But they're the options for the whole class. If you start with one, you can always change it. So if you start on your chair and go, oh, I could probably do with a little bit more challenge, bring it down to the floor. Or if you're on the chair and you're going, this is a little bit too difficult, take it to the wall. Okay? So you can always change it. You're not stuck with whatever option that you've taken. So hands are nice and wide. I'm going to set up in my normal position. So to make sure my hands are wider, I'm going to step them out so that they're like that. So we're going between 4 and 6, nice and slow. If you get into the point where, I'll show you from the side. If you get into the point where you're going, oh, I don't know if I can go any lower, then you don't. Just push it back up. Still a push-up. Joints are bent, joints are straightened. Still what we want. Hands nice and wide, starting whenever you're ready. That's enough chatter from me. Wide push-ups. Here we go. Getting as low as you can and pushing it back up. Take your time. Take a pause between reps if you need to. 4 to 6. Fingers spread nice and wide. Take your time. I'm going to go for one more because I'm feeling okay. Here on the knees. Awesome. Rest when you've finished yours. Just give everyone a few minutes to complete. And we're going back to our squats. Grab yourself a little drink. So if you don't like the option we're going to add, stick to what we just did. So you can stick to that little T-Rex squat where you step back, or you can add this. Just turn that down a little bit. We're going to step back. Again, toes can find the floor. And then what we're going to do is if you can just lift that front leg and then bring it back. So we're going 4 to 6 on each side. And we'll do the same again. So spending a couple of seconds just leaning in and then go for that leg lift. So that all that weight is on one side. Again, pop your hand on a chair or a wall if it feels a bit unstable. Let's go for it. All on one leg to begin with. 6 to 8. of those T-Rex. I mean, I don't know why that would help me balance having my hands like this, but here we are. Bring that leg up as far as it will go. If it only wants to come off the floor really quickly, like that, then go with that. Same thing. Okay, take your time. Like I said, just peel those toes onto the ground to get that leg sticking out the front. If it doesn't want to be straight, don't worry. It might come off the ground like that. Also fine. So I'm going to go 2 more this leg. Right, swapping sides. Other leg turn. And as always, you might find that one side performs better than the other. Completely normal. It's actually really beneficial for us to be asymmetrical. See, my right leg isn't as happy being straight when it goes out the front. Again, breathing. I know there's lots of concentration going on. People tend to hold their breath, but make sure you breathe. Okay, I'm going to go one more. Oh, it started to shake a little bit towards the end there. Okay. Have a little drink. And we're going back to those reaches. So we're going to take a wide stance now. So step those feet out further than hip width. Again, you can adjust that. So if you step too wide and it doesn't feel very good, you can always bring them back in. Whenever I stand wide, I always like to just point my toes as well. It just feels normal. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to reach down. So if I was stood on a clock, I'd be reaching down towards 12 o'clock with my band, letting my hips go the opposite way, sticking straight out the back. So my butt's going to the grass wall. Think about where your butt's going. And we're going to do the same. We're going to open it up when we're down there, stand back tall, and then we're going to go the other way. Okay, so we're going to alternate at 12 o'clock for 4 to 6 reps. So bringing that band down towards 12, open it up, back to the middle, and stand up. Nice and tall. And then we're going other side. Shoot the hips back, open it up, back to the start. That's it, lovely. Moving at your own pace. You don't want any head brushes, because they're not fun on a hot day. Lovely. So keep moving through those 2. Open it up to each side. So I'm doing 2 more of each. To get to 8. You can stop whenever you're ready. Okay, shooting those hips back. Awesome. Relax it there. Like I always say with this one, I like doing the little slow, stretchy hamstring stuff in between the squats and the push-ups, because they can be a little bit more demanding. So down on the ground, chair or wall, again, we're going to go narrow. So hands are going to be pretty much open. If you put your fingers out and get your thumbs to touch each other, that's going to be your hand position. So again, 4 to 6, really nice and slow, letting the elbows bend, getting to that point where you're going, no, that's enough, and then lifting back up. Chest can go as far to the floor as you want it to. So setting those hands up, getting those hands under the shoulders, nice and close together, let the elbows bend, and they'll want to bend a bit further out. It's getting more tricep than the chest, but here we go. Starting whenever you're ready. Nice and narrow, pushing back up. Breathing in between. Take a pause between reps if you need to. I'm going to go for one more. Cool. Nice. Have a little relax. Give those hands a little shake off. How are we doing for time? Oh, perfect. Okay. Back to our squat now. So what we're going to aim for on these ones is to, as soon as that foot hits the ground, because we've been sort of peeling that down, haven't we? Letting it hit and then taking that forward. That was what we did in the last one. Now we're going to see if we can lift that, and as soon as we step, we can take that foot up and then go into our squat a little bit more. So we're not looking for the depth immediately. We're going to try and get that depth once that front leg is lifted. So stepping back up. So it's an immediate switch and balance, and then stepping forward. Give it your best shot. If it's wobbly, hand on something, or T-Rex arms, because that seems to work for me. So we're aiming to lift that other foot as soon as our back foot touches the ground, and then we're going to try and get a little bit more on the depth. 6 to 8 on each leg. Here we go. Just like a quick exchange of body weight. Might be a little bit more wobbly. If this is not for you, you can stick with what we did in the last round. Like I say, same but different. I'm doing almost like a little hop onto the back foot. Or a plop. It's more of a plop than a hop. There we go. Okay, take your time, pause between reps if you need to. Okay, one more on this right leg for me. Little rest and then swapping sides. So I just like to give my legs a little adjust before I go in on that other leg. Let's see how this leg performs. Very wobbly. Might have to start that one again. That was a no, that one. There we go. The reason that we're adding that depth on after is because as you quickly exchange, you might need to get your balance before you then try and lower it down a bit further. Start that one again as well. See, one side is just not as happy to perform as the other. But that's That's all part of the fun. Probably doesn't help that I'm looking at myself in the mirror and seeing myself wobble everywhere. I'm going to go 2 more on this leg. Oh, look, much better. Now I'm looking at the floor and not myself in the mirror. There, relax it there. Very good. Okay, back to those hamstrings. Grabbing that band or towel. Now there is the option to hop or step here. So we're going to alternate feet positions, but we're going to change them at the bottom of that reach. So here, you can either hop the feet out and stand back up, or you can just step them and stand back up. So it's going to look like this in real time. I'm just going to go between them both. And if you'd like to know what's going on here in a fancy sense, we're just utilising ground force reaction. So Isaac Newton, who the apple fell on his head, discovered that when 2 things collide, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the body, how the body deals with ground force reaction is your muscle just has to react differently. So if the hamstrings are already lengthened and then they've got to decelerate, they've just got to respond differently. There you go. That's your science lesson for today. But hop or step, choose your option. We're going to go for 10 all together, switching foot positions, standing in between. Take that reach down, change, and then stand it back up. Down, back to narrow, and then standing up. Take a pause if you need to while you stood up. Again, don't want anyone to get any head rushes. Keep those knees nice and soft, especially if we're landing. Hair's getting very annoying today. It's like all stuck to the sweat on my face. Then hop or step. I, of course, have lost count of how many I've done, so I'm going to go for 4 more. One more of each. Awesome. Pop that towel down. So our last set of push-ups is when we need our book. But like I said, don't worry if you haven't got that book, because if you're on the chair or the wall, you won't have it anyway. So no book needed if you're doing chair or wall. It's still going to work the same. So what we're going to do, it's very similar to what we just did with the hamstrings. We're going to jump or step the hands on and off the book from a narrow to a wide position. So I'll just demonstrate. It's going to look like this. Narrow, wide. So here's your options. You can go if you push up and then just step them off like that. But what we're going to try and aim for is as soon as you've reached the top of that push-up, we want to try and get the hands to move pretty quickly, whether you're stepping or jumping, because again, it's just making the muscles react differently because they've got to slow your body down, because otherwise you'd plummet face first into whatever you were near on, like on the floor or the chair. So that's your body stopping you from falling face first into furniture, which is really handy. It's a really good way to just spice up our movements and get the body to work a bit harder. So if we're going to go, these are the last push-ups. So I'm going to say anywhere between 4 and 8. So you decide how many of these you want to do. Narrow to wide, starting whenever you're ready. Remember, jump the hands or step the hands. Doing a push-up in each position, either on the knees or on the wall. Taking a pause if you need to. That is a lot. And again for 2 more. You can always tell when I find something difficult to just immediately go silent. Just why the music then helps to fill the gaps. But yeah, oh, that was a lot. Okay, 2 things left, and then we're done. Go off and enjoy the sun. Oh, perfect. We've got time for both of these. So we're going to go for a side lunge where we do the same as the squat. So I'm going to lean into my right leg, and then I'm going to try and bring this one forward and then stand up. Okay, so just use a range of motion that feels good, because you can do this as high or as low as you'd like to. You could be here, bring that leg forward and then straighten, or you can try and get some more depth, bring it round and up. It's going to be wobbly, 6 on the right leg, then we'll swap, and then we've got a little flow just to finish off, just to help us remember to breathe a little bit. Hopefully we're all feeling ready. Last leg thing that we're doing. Side lunge, bend that leg, straight leg's going to come round and stand up. Perfect. We're going to start again with that leg. Probably would have made more sense to alternate than stepping back to a start position, but here we are, we're doing it now. Things always don't become obvious until you do them. Lovely. 2 more for me on my right leg. Bringing that leg round and standing up. A bit more coordination involved. So it's just built on everything we've already done. Okay, swap it over to the left when you're ready. Because although it might seem a bit random, all the skills do build on each other as we go through. And again, you might notice that you haven't got as much range in one side than the other, completely normal. Absolutely smashing that, Fiona. Camera on. Well done. 1 more for me. Lovely. Grab a drink. Ooh. So just a little thing to wind down. So it's more stretchy than anything. Just a chance, well, everything we've done is stretchy, but just a chance to get that breathing in and out, and a chance to just unwind a little bit. It's down on the floor, but there is an option to do it on a chair if you'd like to. So if you're doing it on the chair or on your sofa, you just put your hands next to your butt, and then you'll be in this position to start, and the rest will make sense as we go. And you'll sit your bum back, because we've got a little reach forward. But that'll make sense when I demonstrate it on the floor. So, sitting down, legs straight, or on a chair, legs straight. Wrists next to you, like this. Hands can turn out if that feels more comfortable. You're going to raise your bum off the floor and just tip yourself back, like that. And then you're going to lower your bum really slowly and just reach forward to the toes. If you need to bend your knees to reach forward, you can. So we're just going to move between those 2 positions 3 or 4 times, really slow, breathing in and out nicely. Off we go. Hands where they're comfortable, lift, looking straight up or back. Bum down really slowly, reaching forward. Just spending a few seconds in each place and then repeating. So just doing a little bit of backwards loading of the shoulder, just because we've front loaded it with our push-ups, and then giving the chance for the back to just relax forward. Really slowly. One more time. And in this last one, you just want to rock around. Just breathing. Lovely. And release that. Whew. We are all done. Massive well done to everybody who smashed that this morning. Just going to stop the recording. Say goodbye to everybody who's watching and catch up.